President Franklin Roosevelt's fireside chats were designed as a way for the president to talk with listeners, to calm nerves and discuss policies. Our Jack Kessler has more on the chats and the reassurance they brought in a time of difficulty.
Between 1933 and 1944, President Roosevelt gave upwards of 30 fireside chats to the American public, with the first fireside chat being about the bank crisis.
He got people believing in him, and he did that primarily through what are called fireside chats, which were where he spoke directly into Americans' living rooms through the radio and told them to gather around to the radio, and he would explain things like the Emergency Banking Act and things that he was going to do.
According to the University of Virginia, an estimated 60 million people listened to that first fireside chat. WTANMU Associate Dean of Communication, Art, Theater, and Dance, and an expert on organizational crisis communication, Dr. Christina Drumheller, says that these chats provided transparency to the American public.
And in crisis communication, we would argue that is one of the best things that you could do, right, is to be transparent, let audiences know what's going on. We talk in terms of stakeholders, so who has a stake in the message that you're sending, and for a president, you're talking about not only the whole country, but often a global message.
According to the Census Bureau, in 1930, approximately 40% of the U.S. population owned a radio.
Now, it didn't necessarily help everybody. If you can't afford to eat, you probably can't afford a radio either, right? So there are limitations to what our messaging can do, especially through medium like that. And so there are plenty that FDR didn't reach, and I think that's an important thing. We do talk about things like two-step flow theory. It's a little outdated now, but would somebody hear the message and then share it with others who maybe didn't have radio? And what did that look like?
The fireside chat's legacy would continue after FDR, with nearly all presidents since using radio, television, and even social media to speak to the nation.
So when you can use the radio well, when you can use TV well, because TV had the same thing. When TV comes out, it started to be, oh, you have to look good if you're going to come across well, right? So that changes the way you're going to do your message, right? Social media. Oh, I only have 144 characters, or I only have 260 characters, or whatever each level gave you. How do I create that message? How do I give a short blip that is effective?
In Amarillo, Jack Kessler, KMR Local 4 News.
During the first fireside chat, the broadcast was from the White House's diplomatic reception room, with President Roosevelt actually sitting next to a fireplace. To learn more about the fireside chats and the topics that were covered, you can go to our website, myhighplains.com.